All right, welcome back to another exciting, wonderful episode of Jedi Academy, the show where we bring all the best of the best YouTubers, experts in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes into one mishmash of talent where we answer all your questions. This is a Q&A show, so if you want your question answered, put it in the form of question in the streamer chat, and the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, will rock and roll and pick it up and scoop it up, and we will answer to the best of our abilities with the talent we have assembled. And of course, let's introduce the talent for today's show. Let's start off with the Dark Lady of the Sith herself, Darth Bella. Guten Tag, my apprentice.
Guten Tag.
Did I say that right?
That was perfect. That was really perfect. You even could be my apprentice.
How dare you? Also joining us today is, of course, Mike Hunt. Mikey, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing? I'm having fun. This week has been interesting.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Also joining us from all the way across the pond is Turbo Blaster himself, Turbs, what's going on, bro?
Morning, afternoon, or whatever you are. Thanks for having us as usual.
Well, it's morning for me, large copious amounts of caffeine, which introduces me to our next person on the panel, the great warrior from another brother from another mother, from Team Instinct, Mr. Warrior. I know it's like, in the morning there. How much coffee have you had to drink?
8 a.m. I'm almost done with my first cup, and I'm about to go get my second cup after you go on from my introduction.
Yes, let's have a sip of coffee.
And I am back. I'm sorry I missed out last week. I've got 3 misses in the last 5 weeks here. It's almost like I'm not a person on the show anymore, so I apologize. I've been so damn busy. But
shut your because you were down in Mexico.
Yeah, and then before that, I was on a business trip, and So Mexico treated me really good this time. Super fun trip. Super fun.
We won't get into that.
Did you hear on my other live stream? Did you hear what happened on my other live stream?
I had to check out your stream. I got a notification. I had to have a chance to listen to it.
Sure.
We're the one where you say I'm back. Missed everything.
Yeah, so the one that says I'm back, I missed everything trying to catch up. One I go over in depth, in detail, what happened down in Mexico 4 years ago and 20 years ago. And so, it was an interesting chat.
Oh, that's why I wasn't saying anything. I didn't know you'd actually told the world. So
I did tell the world. There's only like 5,200 views right now, so the whole world doesn't know yet. So we can go over that.
Okay, so that I don't have to hold back. Lesson learned, kids. If you want to know what to avoid and what not to avoid in Mexico, go listen to Warrior's last stream. Oh, my God. All right, guys. So we're waiting to get the questions to start coming in. Why we were doing that, let us go over all the fun stuff we've been dealing with this week. Been quite a lot going on. Let's talk about the Commander Luke Skywalker event. Let's get everybody's impressions of the event. We'll start with Warrior, since he just got back into the States legally. What did you think of the event overall?
Well, so I got back, and the morning I woke up, the first day back, there was an event, and I'm like, oh, crap, I better do a live stream and do the event. I, up to this point, had not read any of the reworks. I didn't know what they'd done to any of the characters. There were 6 character reworks or whatever, 5 or whatever character reworks, and they had introduced Hermit Yoda in Gear 12, and the other 2 characters, the Hoth characters, and I don't know anything of any of those. So I just came back and I felt totally lost. And then they're like, well, there's an event for Luke. And I'm like, oh my God, already? That's happening today? So I figured I'd stream that. So it's just me palling around with my new characters, trying to learn the new abilities. And Obi-Wan looks pretty cool. I think his new rework will be pretty cool. I got all excited and Zeta Han Solo because I'm just funny like that. He's built, so this is the deal. This is actually why the number one reason why I had two reasons, but the number one reason why I came to Team Instinct. So when I first started the game, for the first few months, I piddled around in guilds that take you, whoever's available. You just go in and you do it. And they were all really nice people. I mean, really great community. We chatted. I mean, everything about it was like a brotherhood. It was awesome. But there's this character in the game called Han Solo you can only get with Rancor Heroic. And at the time, my guilds, the first guild wasn't doing it, and the second guild was trying to do it, but couldn't quite complete it. And it's like, I don't like not being able to have something because of some other people. And so I'm like, my team's holding me back. I was in the top 3 every time, and I thought, the rewards are good, but at this point, I guess, I looked at the rewards for Heroic, and I'm like, if I could even get last place in a Heroic team, it'd probably be better than first place in this guild. So I unfortunately had to leave for my benefit, and so I started looking and seeking, and I found Team Instinct, and I actually bribed them. I bribed them. Some people will say that I'm arrogant, and I am at times, and I don't mean to be. I try to come across as confident because I'm confident, but unfortunately, confidence can be very easily misconstrued as arrogance. It happens. So anyway, I came across the recruiter, and he basically said, "Yo, you got to be 85 to get into Team Instinct. You got to have like a, this and this and this." And I was nothing. I was like a level 78, and I didn't have any gear 10s, and And I told him, I said, "Listen, either you're going to have representation on Team Instinct on this shard on my leaderboard, that's me, or you're going to have some other chump down the road that you decide to allow in, and I'm going to beat his ass every day, and you're going to have an embarrassment or a scar on your record. So do you want the number one guy on this leaderboard to be part of your team, or do you want someone else who's going to be my bitch?" And they, excuse my language, they hired me. They took me on. They were like, "Okay, that's what we need. All right." And that was my intro.
The legend was born.
That didn't sound arrogant.
That was and that was it. I just basically told them this is how it's going to be, and the guy liked it. He was like, "Dude, you're bred specifically for Team Instinct. Come on board." So now I was the very first and only person in history for Team Instinct to ever be let in, not at level 80, because back then it was level 80, and then shortly after it went to 85. But when they let me in, it was actually it had gone from 70, it had just gone to level 80, and they were like, "You've gotta," because it was 70 and I was climbing to 70. I'm like, "I'm gonna get it there," and then of course it went to 80, and I'm like, "I'm not freaking waiting. I'm just gonna apply." So yeah, it's a bit of arrogance there, but it worked out for my benefit this time.
I think my way of getting in was like, "Can I come in now? No. Can I come in now? No. Can I come in now? No. What about now? Okay." But yeah. What about? So let's go around the panel. Overall thoughts of the Luke event. Terms. What did you think, my friend?
It was fun, different. It was still very easy though. It was not a patch on the Thrawn, which actually was tough. But no, it was interesting. It was different. Because it was first thing in the morning for us, and obviously I had to go to work, I just ordered it all, to be honest.
Yeah, me and Loki stayed up and streamed it live when it came out.
Yeah, I did watch that. I thought what happened to the race?
Huh?
You said you were to race. What happened to the race? You said you were going to race. To see who could unlock it first.
No, I knew that I was going to win. Mega well Loki. I mean, if you've seen Loki, if you've seen Loki's account, I don't know what he has left to do in the game. That's how much stuff. And when he was gearing up, when you're watching him gear, like, "Oh, you have 300 Krabatis just sitting there. I hate you." It's like, what? God dang, man. But yeah, it was interesting. I did like the event myself. I mean, I thought it was cool how they interwove, the events from episode 4 in there. I mean, I especially like the Obi-Wan and Vader little showdown. What about you, Mike?
I enjoyed it. I didn't realise I completed it. I thought I had another level to go, and it's like, oh, right. I'd hoarded, so literally unlocked him straight after Geary Levend, Umdenard, chucked some mods on, and tried him out in arena. Went 4 and 4. Yeah, no, it was good. Found it quite funny that, you know, basically you had to 7-star Obi-Wan to have him die.
Yes.
Which is a bit of a, hey, what?
Hey,
okay.
It's just like the movies.
But
it was canon.
But yeah. And also I need to, well, I don't need to, but what Turbs was saying earlier about Thrawn being much more difficult, yes, it was, but that's because it was with a very specific set of tunes.
Yeah.
I know you can argue the same for this one, but anyone that's played from day dot had the tunes. And, I mean, I maxed my layer out. I mean, she's used in, well, not maxed her out, but she has Omegas. Because she's used in Heroic Tank and that. So I think with that combined, and I know we're going to go over the reworks later on, but combined with the reworks just did make it a lot easier, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Darth Bella? Did you enjoy the event?
What was the question again? I mean, we've been talking for so long.
How dare you? I like your evilness.
The Commander Luke Skywalker event, right? Yes, long awaited, and the moment it was clear who we needed to unlock him, I went and grabbed every shard I could of Old Ben, because I just unlocked Old Ben, and there I needed to star him then. I had all the other ones at 7-star. I mean, Leia is used in P4, and I use Han in P3, and R2-D2, of course, I had him. Yes. Luke was one of my first characters I actually starred, because when I started to play, I thought he was the best character ever from the movies. But Old Ben was missing, so I had a hard time, but I managed in time, and I even geared him too much for what he actually does in the event. Yeah. Happens. I mean, we know better now.
Hey, better to be safe than sorry, I always say.
But I have to say, I found that a really good event, because I read in the forums about there was a lot of complaining and whining going on, and I don't understand it, because all these characters have their use and have been in the game for long. You know, it's day one characters, so to say, and you had all the time to build them up. I mean, if you just started, okay, then it's difficult for you. But all the guys who started 1.5 years ago had all the time. And I also find it funny, especially, I think the tier 5 with Old Ben. I think that was a surprise, and that was really good. No spoilers.
I think it was executed well. Is Reemon there? I didn't get a chance to interrupt. I don't know if he came back. Reemon, you there, bud? All right, Reemon's still not there. So Reemon should be on. So I was waiting to introduce him, but I don't know if he'd come back yet. All right, so let's get to the questions. They're coming in hot and heavy, and I can tell you they're not about Wicket. So Finn, you can just shut your hole. So let's get to these questions. Wow, they're really coming in. All right, this is from our Scottish lady of ladies and across the pond. So keyboard asks, what gear levels are your CLS at the moment? So we'll go around the horn. Bella, what gear levels your Commander Luke at?
Gear 9, 1 piece missing to Gear 10.
Mike?
Gear 11.
H2. Turbs?
Gear 11.
I think I know the answer to this, but Warrior?
Gear 11.
Yeah, I got caught with...
Your pants down?
Yeah, Gear 9. I'm working on it. I mean, I've tried the gear, but I haven't seen but a couple pieces. It's like, damn it, Jim. Why isn't this showing up?
I totally wasn't prepared either, and so I ended up...
I spent some crystals.
Yeah, I ended up dropping 100 bones and buying 6 Carbantes and stun guns. That's what I needed was the Carbantes and stun guns, and I went and bought them, and I had to do refreshes, and it was like $80 worth of the $100 crystals to gear them up on day one. So that was a convenience charge of $80. Otherwise, I got him to gear 9 on my own, and it would have taken me at least 2 more weeks to craft 6 pieces. And that would be with using all of my 700 crystals a day that I earn.
Yeah.
I want him now.
Mine was quite funny. Mine was the opposite, to be honest. I had all the hard stuff saved, and I got stuck at, I think it was gear 8, 9, and 10 on the easy stuff. You know, the
blues.
The purpose where you need 20. One of the discs, 2 of the discs. I had all the hard stuff and the easy stuff. I'm like, I best put some requests into Guild.
Mm-hmm.
I've put 2 days farming into Mercen 3 detonators or whatever they are. Things just bane of my life.
The Carbantes, I just did Kenobi, I did Thrawn, and then, for the event, I'm like, well, I better get Kenobi up, old Ben, for this. So I got him to gear 9, and I was like, that should be good enough. But that was some more Carbantes down the toilet. And then when Luke came out, I'm like, oh, come on, man, really? Especially after he didn't really need to have been that gear, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks." If I had only known.
We discussed it beforehand, didn't we? I don't think it was as bad as I actually forecasted. But
no, his gear is bad. Actually, there was a lot of really low end gear that was utilized even through gears 8, 9, and 10, and at least 3 or 4 slots. And I was like, because really the only thing that was difficult for him was if I had Carbantes and stun cuffs, I would have been golden, and I zipped right through it. And I mean, gear 11, there's some bigger pieces, those really hard, solo projectors that are Mark IVs and things like that. And but 2 gear 11 wasn't as bad as I was expecting, especially after you do someone like General Kenobi.
Yeah, and we got crystals, credits, and Mark 6 thermal detonator as well. The 6-speed one, didn't we?
Which was actually one we needed to get to gear 10 or whatever.
Yeah, sweet. It was pretty good. All right, so let's get to the next question. This is from our good friend Scroats. Lost track of who it's it. Terms, we'll go with you. Is CLS a better leader or regular team member? What are your thoughts? Let's probably open up to the panel, but we'll start with you.
Depends who you're running around him, obviously, whether you use him as leader or not. If you're not running any rebels, then it's kind of pointless using him leader. But I use him lead. I think he's better in lead than support, maybe. But again, it depends on the characters around you. On the flip side, again, though, there's no reason why you have to use him as lead. You can quite easily shove him in there. He's a good character.
Anybody else with thoughts on this?
I like that he gives, basically he's the rebel Gar. 50% counter chance. So you just need people that hit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the light side Gar. The problem is he's 100 times better than Gar because he's way more tanky. He's way more tanky than Gar by 10 to 15,000 when fully maxed out, and he can heal 50% health and protection, and he also gives himself all that extra crit chance, crit damage, turn meter removal on special, turn meter removal on basic, and he hits for 22k or whatever on his basic. It's nuts. So Gar is great. Gar was a great idea. Actually, I wish he could be the Empire leader. of choice. They just should have made his kit a little stronger than they did. If his kit was a little stronger, like if he had a special that cleansed him and one other person or something like Thrawn kind of, then he'd be used everywhere in the arena. He really would be. And there'd be a lot more dark side teams viable.
I think that his mechanics were tested for Luke. They just wanted to try and make it right. That's my assumption anyway. I mean, the fact that he's got that skill set's so alike, but then with all the additions. But yeah.
You know what just happened? I just mixed up Luke and Luke. So I lied. My Luke is Gear 8.
That's all right, Bella.
The other Luke is Gear 9. The old one.
Farm boy.
Farm boy is Gear 9. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't look so much alike.
One's got shorter hair than the other one. Come on, Bella. All right. Speaking of Miss Bella, we'll give you the next question. This is from DJ Benvera. Do you think many guilds will ban CLS from Rancor raids since he solos so fast? Oh my God, let me say something about that. I put him in. I ran a team I was just testing him out, right? So I just was like, well, what's a team I'd like to try him out with? So I put him with Cassian, Jin, and Biggs and Wedge. And I soloed the damn thing. I was like, what in the hell is this? He is ridiculous. In Rancor. So what do you think about this, about guilds and possibly banning him for Rancor raids and stuff, since he can pretty much kick the crap out of it?
I think guilds have to find a way how to that not one single one is going and killing the whole raid. So you need to coordinate. Because if you start the same time, then you can let everyone run. And if they want to just use Commander Luke and no other toon and try to solo, then it's fine. But the others have to have the opportunity to get in some damage. So basically that's another way of asking the question we have been answered quite a lot of times. How do you organize your raids? Like, do you get in 0 damage so everyone can take part, or how do you organize it? But of course, I agree. If someone just kills a phase, it's a bit stupid for the others.
Anybody else with thoughts on this?
Well, this is actually
oh, there's Relon.
I'm back. Whoa. I was here first, by the way, guys. I left and I came back.
I made sure everybody knew that. Don't worry. Good Lord. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Relon? Is he there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You're kind of cutting up there.
What we do is we open the raids for 24 hours so people can post zeros if they want. And then for when we open a raid, anybody who has a solo has to wait 10 minutes to drop their solo. So, this was even when Zeta was going. So I don't think it'll be any different than that. I mean, if you want to drop a solo, you just have to wait till everybody gets a shot to attack. And you're going to probably have to wait like 10, 15 minutes to drop your solo. But, I mean, you'll still be able to do it because the way it is with the Rancor raid. I mean, you can have everybody do 10 million damage as long as it all drops at the same time.
Yeah. All right.
Before we move on, I don't know. Did you know that you can actually solo the Rancor with Luke on his own? There's been a video flying around. You don't need anybody else. You can do it with Luke on his own. 10 million. Can solo Rancor with Luke on his own. That's just crazy.
It's a ton of really, really good RNG. There's been like 100 people attempt to do that and fail with like 280 speed on their Luke and still fail. So that's not a real viable method, and most people, 99.9% of people, are going to be able to replicate that benefit.
Yeah, I think you need to run them with the team, but you'll clear. I mean, as long as you got the right team. I mean, goodness gracious. So, more Luke Skywalker questions. This is kind of up for anybody, so anybody can jump in. Is anyone using... This is from Keyboard again. Is anyone using CLS in Arena right now?
Yes.
Yes.
I think the majority of us are, probably.
I will be as soon as I get into Gear 10.
I am.
But I am, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using him in the... He's my leader right now.
Yep, mine too.
And what teams are you guys running with him?
Me?
Maze, Chirrut, R2-D2, and General Kenobi.
Anybody else with a different team?
Yeah, I'm running Fats. There you go, Vela. Sorry. GK. I'm being told off about running GK, and somebody else. Can't remember. Another rebel.
Somebody else.
I need to
CLS.
check.
Another rebel.
I'm running CLS in the back, R2-D2, because he should be there always with CLS.
Oh yeah, R2.
And then Han Solo Zeta is my other one. And then for the back two, I either use General Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, or I put in Chase. So it's either a taunter and attacker with cleanse or a taunter and attacker with cleanse. So it's screwed either way. And my shard, my leaderboard, there's a few people who figured out how to beat the team now, but the first 2 days of using him, I was getting a ton of messages that it would be really nice if I pulled my team, because I was sitting at number 1 and nobody could beat it. They had 6 attempts and 4 attempts, and they're like, we can't beat it. Would you please pull your team? Which I do, because we all work as a team and there's no reason. And I'm like, would you guys record this on defense for me so I can make a video of that? And then they're all like, I can't record. I don't know how to record, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn it.
What is this technology you speak of?
I know. So I'm like, just use AV screen recorder and then just Google Drive it to me through my email. I gave him my email, and I got one guy that spent all day trying to beat me, finally beat me after he told me he couldn't beat it, finally beat it. It took him 4 minutes, and he lost 3 of his tunes. So it's a good defensive team, because these guys have the same type of stats on their mods, and they're using maxed out characters, and they had to mix their teams up. But once you learn kill order, then it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing is unbeatable. All right. Let's go to... Well, this will be a good question for you, Warrior. This is from Martin Waterman, and he says, should I use my Zeta on Finn or reworked Leia? It's a good question. I agree.
Because that whole team either works or doesn't work, hinging on that one Zeta. Leia doesn't have to be Zeta for her to increase your raid damage. A bunch of people running
Zodi. She hits hard now, too. God,
a bunch of people who are running Zodi on our team in Team Instinct that were getting 7-8 million pretty easily in 4th phase with Princess Zodi. Just not really trying, just throwing it in there and running it. They were getting 7-8 million with her rework without Zetas. They're now getting an easy 12 million, so 11 to 12 million. So she's increasing almost 4 million damage overall raid potential because of her new reworks, and that's without the Zeta. So I would say, definitely she's fine without it, even though it does give you additional cool stuff. I would do Han Solo, or I would do Han Solo, because that's what I did. If you're giving me those two.
Yeah, I think if you're going to run a resistance team, you need Finn. Leia's fine even without the Zeta, so I think that makes total sense. All right, we'll go to Turbs for the next question. This is again from DJ Ben Vieira. Do we know yet which character is anti-CLS?
Anti-CLS? Well, what I've been running in mine is I've added Thrawn in there, which obviously does help against other CLS because you can just fracture him. For the moment, it's probably going to be another CLS team, isn't it? But again, nothing's unbeatable. Nothing's unbeatable.
Yeah.
There's not that many on my shard either yet, to be honest, so I've not had that much chance to test against him, if you get what I mean. So I don't know if everybody else has had much more experience. But there's not many on my shard, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Thrawn's a good option. I think Nihilus is a good option. The teams that are in there now can't beat that team. It just, you have to learn kill order and stuff. It's more of an adaptation than anything. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Reemon, are you still there?
Yo.
All right, so we got a question from Timmy. I hope I'm saying this right. Timmy Ratio. He said he's got a squad his question is squad CLS, R2D2, General Kenobi, Thrawn. For the 5th, which would you choose? Reworked Leia or reworked Raid Han, and why?
Well, they're both good. I would, if it were one of the two, I would go with Raid Han, preferably, because Raid Han just has more benefit, because of the early attack. I mean, you have the ability to ignore taunt right off the bat, and pretty much like you can use that attack to stun a CLS or stun a Thrawn before they get to fracture your characters. So to me, I would go with Raid Han just because of that fact, because it gives you an extra attack. I mean, obviously, if you put the Zeta on, you'll double attack. But to me, I think out of the two, between Leia and Raid Han, I think Raid Han benefited more from the rework. That's my opinion.
Okay, anybody else? All right, we'll go back to the top. This is from Keyboard. We're going to go back to Miss Bella. What is your favorite fleet team, Miss Bella?
Favorite?
What is your favorite?
Yes, I got that. I was talking to myself.
Oh well, why don't you talk to us?
No.
I know you're evil, but let's get on point.
My favorite fleet team. When you're really into fleets, you use a bigger fleet than just the 8 ships you have in for one go, because you look what your opponent has, and you can adjust your fleet. So I don't have favorite. I of course I run one that I often run, and which I probably have in there just now, which is, I check what I've got there just now. That is, Biggs and TIE Advanced, First Order TIE Fighter, Baron, and Slave 1 in the main lineup. Mm-hmm. And then I've got Scimitar, Sunfag, and at the moment I have Wedge in there. But I also, you see, I have TIE Fighter fully upgraded, so sometimes I switch them. The First Order, I like the double attack of the First Order TIE Fighter. Some others prefer the TIE Fighter because it dodges quite a lot, and that's good for defense. I also upgraded, not the toons fully, but the ships fully, the Ghost and Phantom, and sometimes I use them because I play this for fun, this game. And I like the animation of the AOE of the Ghost, for example. Yeah.
Very nice.
I like the Scimitar.
That's a good ship.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
I use it all. I use it always. The Scimitar is in there with whatever fleet. It's a real good ship. It's a must, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I've 7-starred Gar and Imperial Super Commando, and I've maxed out Gauntlet Starfighter, and that was quite interesting. the 7th star on Commando that completed it added 3 speed onto the Starfighter, onto Gauntlet. So my Gauntlet's now clocking 148, and then gets the plus 20 speed boost. No, plus 40 speed boost, isn't it? And then it can also gain additional speed from Empire in the fleet active. It's a fast ship. It's interesting.
Yes. All right. So let's move on to the next question. This is from Josh Wilson. We'll go to you, Mike, on this one. Other than Phase 4, what else can you use a Princess Zodi team for? Are there any other uses?
On Hat?
Yes, besides Hat, is there any use for that team combination?
If you're doing, if you're doing, sorry,
Galactic War. Those guys do pretty well until they run into a Varys team. Otherwise, they can go through Galactic War pretty good too.
Tier 8 Cantina as well, if you're still working your way through those.
Or the level 9 hard nodes on light side get smoked by that team. So if you're looking at a good light side team, a good Galactic War team, and a good Phase 4 team or Phase 2 team, that's it.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I think it's going to be a good team in the territory battles as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's
going to be
a good team.
Anything that's going to be good survivability and have projection recovery and health recovery, I think is going to be a good territory battles team, I think. We shall see, though.
Yep. All right. God. Next question. Turbs, this is from member Tauntauns. When Luke attacks with his basic, why does he hit the enemy in the crotch? I just don't even know.
I don't know. I don't tend to draw my eyes to other guys' junk, so I never noticed.
Out of all the Commander Luke Skywalker questions we are getting,
is it because he's still learning?
I don't know.
Or maybe he doesn't know that the nut actually could be the head.
Are they talking about the old Luke, Farm Boy Luke shooting in the nuts?
He just says when Luke attacks with his basic, why does he hit the enemy in the crotch?
Well, the new Luke doesn't. He does a cross swing right to left, from top right to bottom left.
Maybe he's talking about the old Luke because he crouches down, doesn't he, and shoots.
Like
so maybe he is. He's going for the nut shot.
It's like Butters from South Park. Damn it, Butters, quit shooting people in the crotch. God.
Does Luke's special attack kind of remind you guys of Chirrut's special attack? When you see it happen?
I hadn't really made the correlation. Anybody else? I wasn't really paying attention to it, but top of my head, I don't know if that it might. Anybody else notice that?
It kind of looks like a similar animation with a different character and weapon.
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me if that was the case. All right. Let's see here. This is for Warrior. This is from MJ, or good boy MJ in Minnesota. He says, wanted to get thoughts on SRP with Commander Luke lead. Seems the counter chance up paired with taunt giving 50% turn meter to everyone in basic seems interesting. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, that he was actually talking to me with that earlier this morning before.
Oh, was he?
Yes, and he brings up a really good point. Characters that are irrelevant are not as good as they should have been in the day when they were brought out. SRP was overlooked. A lot of people said, "Well, he is good," and he is good for the entry to mid game, but in game he just isn't. He doesn't have enough to his kit to really make him a worthwhile character, but then someone like CLS comes into the game and breathes new life into old characters maybe were irrelevant. Think about this for a minute. CLS with a Raid Han Solo or a Princess Leia, someone that puts up constant buffs. That just, there's never a moment where there's not buffs on your characters in some way, shape, or fashion. Leia does that, right? You know, Han Solo does that. And then, of course, if you got someone like General Kenobi or whatever, he's constantly doing that as well. Chirrut is going to constantly get health over time. You'll never be able to kill that freaking dude unless you put buff immunity over it and hope to God that nobody cleanses him, which now there's a million ways to cleanse. And so you've got this tank that you can't kill, so, and he does not doing a lot of damage, but he's, you know, every couple of turns he's taunting, which is disrupting your mojo, and you can't kill him anyway, so you try to ignore him, but he's constantly giving 15% turn meter to your team, in addition to the turn meter you're getting from Luke, in addition to the turn meter potential you're getting from other characters. It's a really, really interesting way to make a team really fast, and have a highly annoying tank on the team that's constantly disrupting your path. And when you're trying to go 5 minutes and beat a team that's already difficult and taking 4 minutes, it could potentially be a deciding factor as to whether we have a new timeout team possible. Add to that a possible Barriss, and it's going to really piss a lot of people off. But that the SRP is definitely one of those characters that's going to have to be tested now again, because he's been written off and everybody's like, yeah, he's a 3-star character, or yeah, he's a mid-game kind of guy. And with the new CLS, it will breathe new life into that character. And I just think you might see his viability pop up significantly in certain character squads.
Awesome. All right.
I actually agree with Warrior. I actually agree with Warrior. Another thing to add, though, just since we're on this topic, is I'll bring it back, like characters that are irrelevant. I was talking last night about Akbar, and being that he has the Rebel tag CLS, obviously jack up his speed would be helpful. But I was thinking, with Tactical Genius, I think Luke can technically go 3 times in a row, right?
I don't know. It's a good question.
So he can go back already. You give him active ability, right? He uses his special ability, and then his special ability gives him turn meter, and he gets to use another ability, but then he gets his other ability that triggers because of Akbar's lead, so he gets to go 3 times in a row. But I've gotten my Han Solo to go 3 times in a row as well, which is why they pair so well, because Han Solo does his special, which gives him turn meter equal to his critical chance. So he hits for 25 to 30k. Then he gets to go again on his basic. It's the first time he uses his basic this round, so then he shoots twice for 20k and 10k, and he's just done 50 to 60k. That's as good as any other character in the game. That's as good as a Darth Vader calling blade. That's as good as, whatever. And so Akbar with Han Solo and Akbar with CLS, like he just said, brings Akbar into, oh my God, we have to kill Akbar before he puts that buff up.
People are asking, what is SRP?
Scarif Rebel Pathfinder.
Thank you. So if you weren't sure what that is, it's Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. All right. Next question to Riemann. This is from Keyboard again. What new Rebel scum are you most excited about? I think we can lump all the reworks and probably the new ones coming up. We got the information about Hoth Rebel Leia coming, and we just got Commander Luke. I think we can leave Commander Luke out of it, but out of the rest of the Rebels, I would think. What are you most excited about with the new Rebel scum?
I gotta tell you, I like Old Ben a lot right now. I don't know about his application right now in Arena. I still think he's not. I don't know if he's good enough yet. But I mean, with his Zeta, I think that taunts could be a lot more interesting. I mean, I'm not there yet with him. I have him gear 11, but I need to put that Zeta on him and give him some good mods and kind of work around with him, see if he, where he could really fit. But I like the old Ben rework a lot. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
The new Rebel Officer looks cool too. As I'm saying, like all the older characters, or all the rework, like I say, my favorite whole Ben's.
Cutting a little bit out there, Remon. Anybody else? Any particular Rebel scum you are excited about?
Princess Leia was the one for me. She now reminds me of the level increase from 70. So before we had protection and everything, and just what she used to do, and she seems to be doing that again. Yeah,
I think for me, I think the rework of Raid Han and Leia and Old Ben were the ones that I think did the most. I mean, Farm Boy Luke and Stormtrooper Han, they got reworks and some stuff, but those three stood out. And I think Leia, because of how hard she hits now, which was mentioned by Warrior, and then what OG Han can do. I mean, it's nice what they did with Ben. They made him a tank in the rework with him. So, all right. Anybody else? Best Rebel scum?
Old Luke's interesting, to be honest. We've been trying to theory craft a team where we can make use of his, because don't forget they've now added he gets 10% critical damage after every turn, which stacks. So if you can get a team that's surviving and going fast enough and doing whatever, then by the end of however many phases, or he potentially could be doing 100k crits if you can get it going fast enough. We've singled it out to see if we can try and get something going. It's an interesting one. Whether it'll work, but we'll see what we can pull together. But that was an interesting one.
Good point. All right, let's go back to the top with Miss Bella, and this is from Goldman 77700. What are your best Rebel routine with Commander Luke currently? And are you running Commander Luke, Bella?
No. That's why I didn't answer when you asked before, because I paid attention.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. No, I don't. I don't run him right now because he's Gear 8, and if
you did have him at what would you like to run with him?
What I would like to run with him, actually, I would like to do a Skywalker family team, and who else?
Oh, no.
I mean, the thing is, the team.
I know where this is going. Go ahead.
The team that were described were quite good, but of course, their father was missing, so you have to put Darth Vader on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how it works.
You put Anakin on it. You could do Commander Luke with Leia, Darth Vader, or Anakin. Oh Lord.
Yes. It would be a great team. I'm joking, of course. But actually, I will try it in GW one day, just to have fun, right? Yeah. Because I like teams as well. And of course, when you use them for real, R2-D2 can't be missing. I mean, I think he's essential to run with him. And best, of course, is Zeta R2-D2. And I would try, I don't know yet, Han Solo, but the Raid Han. I probably because my chase is built up really high, I probably would just put them in there first until I make up my mind who else to put in there.
Yeah, I think that's the team, and they've already listed their teams, some of the other ones, but it's there's lots of possibilities. All right, let's go to Mike for the next question. This is from member Tauntauns. He says, I'm running Luke lead, Chase, Darth Nihilus, and Thrawn. I have one Zeta and can't decide to Zeta one of CLS's abilities or bring in Han Solo Zeta. if I brought Han, who would I replace on my team?
Ooh.
I would say Darth Nihilus.
Yeah. I'd go Nihilus. Switch those two round. I'm hovering over pulling his Zeta trigger at the moment. I'm in a dilemma. I've got 15 Omegas and 20 Zetas, and his ability level 7 across the board at the moment. But I'm seriously considering doing just that. And I but you want Thrawn. Thrawn will counter for you as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nihilus for only guild OG Han.
Yeah, with the Zeta, of course, right?
Yeah,
makes sense. All right, let's go to the next question here. This is from Keyboard. She's amazing. This is for Turbs. Will Commander Luke be the next meta?
There's still going to be a lot of Rex.
So Rex, you think, will still be the meta?
He's going to get up there. There's going to be a lot using him. We're going to have to use him because obviously required for territory battles and such. But when it comes down to arena, you're going to see an influx at first. Whether he stays and Rex gets phased out, I don't know. There's going to be an awful lot of the mid-end and low-end players who are going to be using Rex for a long, long time, haven't they? Because it works. Whether you're going to see an instant change in the meta report and that he takes over Rex in the next few weeks, maybe not so much, but he's definitely going to change. Sorry?
What's that?
Number 2 in the meta report right now for leaders. He's the second most used leader right now in this moment for top 10 teams, which is hilarious because it's been out for like 2 days and he's the number 2 leader. It's the fastest jump to a top 10 spot for any leader after a rework or bringing into the game of any character in history. So he won't be meta changing. He's going to be meta defining. He's going to define the meta for the next 6 months, just like Rex for the last few months.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to change around. And there's me saying it's not going to happen quickly, and it already has. How far behind Rex is he, though? Rex is surely the biggest chunk, isn't it? Or is it?
Numbers on that. Do you have
it to hand?
49% Rex and 13% CLS.
So it's still a big chunk of Rex. He's going to slowly eat into the. I think what's happened is the ones that weren't using Rex, like the ones who were using Wedge lead and this and that lead, they've now swapped to Commander Luke. I think he's probably going to take over, like Warrior says. He's going to change, but nothing immediate, I don't think.
Yeah, not everybody got him, so some people will not be able to. Of those, how many are, we'll see. Give the meta some time to cook out, but I mean that he's already number 2. That's amazing, Jesus. Yeah, meta report will actually be somewhat interesting next week.
If you're free to play, you probably still want to focus on Rex. One, because Rex is kind of a direct counter to CLS. He actually is. Because of the turn meter gain, you have to have somebody. It almost forces you, if you don't have CLS, to run a Rex lead. And the reason for that is CLS gives so much advantage in turn meter gain that you have to have somebody that can give you turn meter gain. So unfortunately, Rex won't be going anywhere. People think this is to kill the Rex meta, but it won't, because for everybody who doesn't have him, they're going to have to run Rex to even compete because of the turn meter gain. And if you're not running Rex, you're probably going to get walked over even when you're offensively fighting if the team is built right. So it's going to make sure that Rex stays viable, and he'll be the free-to-play version of CLS, basically, for that turn meter gain. But if you're going to go against a bunch of Rex, for example, me, like 18 people right now or 17 people are running Rex leads on my top 20 leaderboard. For someone like that, I have to make sure my next Zeta goes on CLS's leadership. And the reason for that, and I'm learning it painfully every day that I'm playing with him, his leadership ability basically nullifies the ability that Rex brings to the table with turn meter gain, because what happens is they resist effects. They resist a lot of effects with a Rex lead. He's constantly cleansing. He can't help it. He just likes to put tenacity up. And that gives your whole team a crap ton of turn meter every time anyone resists a team. So when you're doing AoEs and things like that, you get just mass 30, 40, 50% turn meter gains for everybody on your team. So leadership's most important if you're going against Rex leads. If you've got a weird leadership board where like not that many people are running Rex lead, then do his uniques first. But he and Rex are kind of the two best leaders right now, in my opinion, because they directly counter each other in the turn meter game of who gets to go first and who gets more turns.
Also, Rex is always going to be the counter to speed, right? Like, I mean, if you're unable to get or afford, really high end mods, and you're one of the, you can't, make your characters all 120 speed, 130 speed faster. Your go-to is always going to be a Rex, because that's the only way you're going to get your team to be fast enough to compete with somebody who has those mods. So, I mean, I think like right now with that leader ability, he's really got, kind of like the, he's really got like this. He's really the only really viable counter to speed. So, I mean, if you're running against let's say a Darth Vader Zeta with Sith Assassin, and they're going super fast. You're running against a Rebel team that's super fast, or anything like that. I mean, having a Rex lead, basically gives you an opportunity to give turn meter to the rest of your squad, basically nullifying the speed. So, if you have a guy I've had, you ever face like a Sith team and get an AoE attack, and then all of a sudden now everybody on your team's going first after that one attack because they all just got turn meter. That's the only way that works is with Rex.
Cool. All right, let's go to Warrior with the next question from Wind Ranger. His question is, if you can only Zeta one of Commander Luke's abilities, which one would you choose? Love to have all of your opinions if possible, and thank you for your awesome work. So
awesome.
We'll start with Warrior on the...
Yeah, I'll be quick because I just said if you're facing a bunch of Rex, if that's what's on your leaderboard, you're going to want to do his leadership first. That's going to nullify all that Rex turn meter gain that you're getting, because every time they resist effects, you gain turn meter. So then you're gaining more turn meter than they are, which makes you faster, and it makes their Rex lead useless, especially because Rex is so damn squishy. So then they've got to make a decision: do they switch to CLS, or do they? How do they protect their Rex, kind of thing? Because he's just going to die so fast, he's going to be worthless, and his leadership ability will live on, but it's still trumped by CLS's leadership ability. If you don't have a bunch of Rexes that you're going against, you got a nice fun leaderboard that actually has other creative teams, which is not the norm, then I would do his second unique first, because his second unique provides turn meter to the whole team. Anytime you can get turn meter to the whole team, it's the one you want to do. Turn meter to the whole team is the most important, and so leadership or the second unique. The first unique would be last in either case. It's a great ability. The tenacity is necessary for one of his second unique abilities to trigger, but you don't. Thrawn's got 100% plus 100% tenacity, and he still gets the buff. So it's not a guarantee. It's kind of an ability that they're throwing in there to give him an added bonus, but you aren't going to get as much reward out of that first unique as you think you will. Just like Thrawn's unique with the counter chance and the tenacity isn't quite as amazing as I thought it would be. It's good, but it's not as amazing as I thought it would be. So I would go, if you're going against Rex, the leadership, and then second unique, and then first unique as your Zeta order. But I would do all three of them because he works most effectively with all three, obviously. If you're not going against a bunch of Rex, do unique 2, unique 1, and then his leadership.
Makes sense. All right, next question for Riemann. This is from Andy Grimaldi. What Zeta priority would you suggest? I have CLS and one free Zeta. I'm debating number crunch or CLS for the Zeta. Currently have Zeta, Zodi, Xylus, and Finn Zeta?
So basically, he's trying to decide whether he's gonna Zeta
Number
R2D2
crunch, yeah. Number crunch or Luke?
I would go with number crunch because I think you kind of like Warrior mentioned earlier. R2D2 and CLS kind of go together like peanut butter and jelly, and if you are going to try to get the most out of Luke, I think you can still do fine with Luke not having that Zeta for now and eventually get that Zeta. I mean, of course, you eventually want to get it, but for the time being, I think that number crunch gives Luke a that added bonus that makes him a lot better. So I would say R2D2 also because he's somebody that's really a kind of a universal character that can be used in a lot of different areas of the game. So I mean, I don't know. I may change my mind on that in a couple of weeks. When I see more about Luke and I've tried him out a little bit more. But right now I'd have to say number crunch. I think would benefit both Luke and R2D2 the most.
Okay. Back to the top to Miss Darth Bella. This question is from Evergo. How are each of your guilds specifically preparing for territory battles, if at all? So we'll start with you, Miss Bella. What is your preparation?
What is my preparation?
What is your guild's preparation?
My guild's preparation.
If at all.
Yeah, well, we are not yet sure how territory battles work, so this is just theory, right? We know we need a deep roster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we are doing to do to get our toons ready and be ready for territory battles. I don't know if I don't think we actually know now enough to have a strategy ready. Well, I don't, at least. Maybe some of you guys know. I don't. So I'm just working on all my toons.
Sounds like a plan. Anybody else?
We're doing the same. I haven't actually looked myself, but I hear that there's like toons of interest or something on SWGOH GG now.
There is, yes.
And it allows you to observe 3 particular characters, which might be a subtle clue as to who needs working on. I'm not sure.
Hint, hint.
But yeah, we're just working on all the characters that we've ignored.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
All right. Next question is for Mike. This is from Eric Escobar. He says, getting close to my first Zeta. He's 1 meta away. Congrats on your first Zeta. He's asking, should he Zeta, Savage, or Darth Vader? He says, my guild could use the help with P3. What are your thoughts, sir?
My
Savage
thoughts
or Vader?
My thoughts are slightly biased because I do have and absolutely love my Savage. However, I have a Darth Vader. I've never given him a Zeta. So to me, it would have to be. I recommend him all the time. So following on from that, I would actually recommend Vader because of what he can give you across the various boards. But Savage is great and also can solo P3 or 1.
There you go.
If you've got the time.
All right. Let's see here. Next question for Turbo. This is from Aneta. Which CLS's ability should I Zeta first? This is my arena team CLS leader with Wigs, General Kenobi, and double Zeta R2. Great show, guys, and thanks in advance. Well, I think Warrior kind of answered that, right? Well, leader, if he's going to be a leader, right? You want to leader his leader ability.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with CLS.
Yeah, leader, CLS leader, right? So that would be the Zeta they want to do.
If you're running against a bunch of Rex, like I said before, then it's the first Zeta you need. If you actually not running against a bunch of Rex, if people are still running different things, if you're not seeing a bunch of Rex around you, then actually his second unique would be more important first, and then his first unique, and then his leadership. So it really depends on what you're facing in arena as to how to use the wisdom of what you should be Zetaing first. His leadership ability is amazing, but it's really designed. They built it to be anti-Rex. And the reason for that is, the moment you debuff anything on a Rex team, even Han Solo's shoot first, he does that, stuns a character, and an eighth of a second later, Rex has his hand in the air and everybody's got tenacity up. And so, he even destroys Han Solo's stun capability, which pisses me off. But that's the thing with his leadership ability. The moment tenacity's up, it's game on for you because your leadership ability now is going to give mad turn meter to your entire team for everything they're trying to do. And yes, you're going to get denied all your defense down and speed down, especially with Baze. He's going to try and apply speed down every freaking turn, and everybody's getting turn meter. He's going to try and do speed down. Everybody gets turn meter. It's exactly what you want is for them to resist your abilities, and it requires a Rex to really get them to resist abilities, because Chirrut doesn't guarantee tenacity up, especially if they had debuffs. Same thing with General Kenobi. He's not going to necessarily give them, he can cleanse, but he can't do the tenacity up. So because of that, it's really designed to be an anti-Rex. They built him to take Rex out of the meta. But the funny thing is, like I said, they've actually created it where everybody's going to have to run a Rex lead to counter CLS, because CLS is going to speed teams up so fast with his leadership and his second unique that they're going to have some way of gaining turn meter themselves, which is Rex. So it's kind of it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, only do his leadership if you're running against a bunch of Rexes.
Okay. So, Turbs, will go to you for the next question. This is from, actually, these kind of go hand in hand. So it's going to be kind of two questions, but they're basically the same subject, Turbs. The first one's from Old Man Wilson. He says, do you think the Hermit Yoda will kick off a Jedi rework? And then Keyboard asks, do you think that the Hermit Yoda will be good? So do you think Hermit Yoda will be good, and do you think it'll kick off a Jedi rework?
Probably, maybe. There's going to be some sort of rework or tweak, or there's going to be some sort of synergy with Jedis, obviously. Maybe they're next in line. I think we're seeing the repetitive way that they're doing things, aren't we? We've had our Sith, now we've got our Rebels again. We had Rogue One when the film came out, so I think obviously come Christmas time, it's going to be First Order Resistance turn again, isn't it, with the new movies? Whether a Jedi get a turn in between now and then, maybe with Hermit Yoda, maybe. Who else is there? We've still got the GG and Night Sisters rework, which they've confirmed to come yet. So whether we're going to get some rework Jedi, maybe, possibly. It'd be interesting to know his abilities, though. Rolling on to the next question. I don't know what his abilities could be. I remember somebody jokingly saying he'll drop an X-Wing on your head. I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
He's obviously not going to have a lightsaber, I wouldn't have thought, so he's not going to have a lightsaber. I'd be very surprised if he has a lightsaber. It's going to be some sort of support and force powers, isn't it? He's going to be a support character, I would have thought.
I think so. All right. Next question. Let's see. I'm lost. Remon, Aquatic Gamer asked, for territory battles, large roster or a few good tunes? What do you think? Is Remon there? Is anybody there?
Yeah, we're here. I think we're all just on mute, and he might be on mute while he's traveling or something.
Okay, well, Warrior, can you take that one then?
Will you re-say it? Sorry, I was on mute. And
I was like, it's like, what's going on? So, Aquatic Gamer, for territory battles, large roster or a few good tunes?
Large roster. They've already explained that and why. You're going to get basically an ability once you bring them into the battle to gain a benefit, and then also during the battle. So there's like a two-way ability. Not only are you going to want to successfully complete battles, which is going to be wherever you're at, but the other part of it is bringing in every single tune, every single ship into the battle. So you're getting some sort of a point system just for bringing in everything. And so they're basically rewarding people for having their collection score as high as possible. And I've already told people, if you want your collection score high, the fastest way to do it, aside from farming everybody, is everyone you own, spend a couple 100,000 credits after the next credit heist, taking everybody up to like level 40. Even if you don't use them, just take them to like level 40 or level 50. And it's really cheap to get them early on low like that, and then it gets really expensive real quick after 50. But it's pretty cheap to get them all to level 50, and that will skyrocket your collection score 20 to 30 points just doing that.
I actually run some numbers on that, Warrior. It's per 10 levels, it's 0.8%. So it soon ramps up that percentage.
Yeah, so about 10% for 10 levels, or 1% for every level. So that's my point. It's the number one best way to raise your collection score. And I figured it out incidentally. I'm just an idiot, and I'm a Pokemon guy. I don't play Pokemon, but I'm like the collect them all. So I 7-starred everybody, just farmed everyone, even junk characters I farmed. You eventually farm them all if you want to, because you have time to do that if you want to, and I did. And then I figured I would take everybody in my thing to like level 10, and then I figured I'd take them to level 20, and I figured I'd take them to level 30, and like collection scores came out, and I noticed my collection score skyrocket after, because I would go up 5 levels on every character, and I noticed my collection score would go up like 5 points. I'm like, what the heck? And then I would do another 5 the next time when we get another credit heist, and I would just level everybody up by like 5 points or 5 levels. And then it got down to where I had to do 1 level per person because it got really expensive real quick. But it was raising my collection score. And now, I mean, I have like, 30 characters that are like gear 7 or, whatever. And my collection score is a 99%. And I still have like 30 characters that need geared up. So it's not about gear as much as it is about the actual tune's star level and actual level, like the level 85.
Okay, so
and the score is what you get credit when you bring them into a battle.
And it's about fun. Don't forget that.
There's no such thing, Bella. You're supposed to be evil.
Okay, sorry. I forgot my role.
It's right,
yes.
My young apprentice.
Enjoy it as you kill everybody.
I'm trying to let people know how to raise their collection score, because their collection score will directly impact how much they're contributing, even before a battle begins, how much they're contributing to their guild and in one of those battles. And so if they don't bother with what I'm saying, then they're not going to contribute very much on the front side or on the back side. And if they want to contribute more by doing nothing more than leveling characters, then they can. That's part of this ability. So, and they've explained this on a podcast before. So it's one of those things that you can do it or not, but it depends on how much you want to contribute to your team, I suppose.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, back to the top, to my young apprentice, Darth Bella. This is from Kenjik, and he asked, what do you guys think about Luke in Phase 3? This is for Heroic AT. Maybe instead of TFP Nihilus in the R1 plus Tebow team. What do you think of that? Phase 3.
Luke in Phase 3. Oh, I don't. I mean the new Luke, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't tried it. If anyone on the panel has tried it, I I think it could be an interesting move, but I haven't tried yet. I have a 7-star, but I'm actually still looking for the right mods for him, so it will take me a few days to do that. So if any other one, yeah.
Well, does anybody else in the panel think instead of TFP Nihilus and the R1 Tebow team with Luke is the question? I mean, does anybody have any thoughts on that? Have they even had a chance to even dink around with Luke in any of the heroic phases of the AAT raid? Yes, no, maybe so. All right, we'll have to get back to you on that one, Kenchik. I think he's still a very new character. I mean, theory crafting is great, but we'll have to play with the numbers first to give you a solid answer. So stay tuned on that. All right. Next is Mike. This is from Brad Steele. Phase 1 for the heroic AT with Commander Luke Skywalker. Who else do you run with him? If you're going to run a Commander Luke Skywalker, if you haven't had a chance to with Phase 1 of the heroic AT, who would you run with him?
Good question. I
know.
I missed that. Sorry, can I just to come back to the question before? I think Princess Zodi dominates Phase 4 of the hat, especially that she got the rework. It was just one of the reasons why CLS might not have been tried too much yet. It's just that everyone.
They're asking about Phase 3.
Phase 3.
Oh, was it? 4. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah. So TFP Nihilus, and stuff, running with the Tebow team. I mean, it probably would do just as good. We just don't have enough data on that yet. So, what about Phase 1?
Phase 1, CLS lead. I'm thinking Ezra, R2. Ooh. I need 2 more rebels, don't I?
You don't have to. I mean, give me anybody.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking. I was in. I've been a bit busy of recent, and I've only seen a few of the interesting chats. I'm in a lot of theory crafting rooms, but I haven't been able to really catch up. I have seen something, I just can't remember. Can you come back? And I'm actually going to go and find it.
Yeah, you can just create a counter team, kind of like the Jedi counter team with I'm a Gundai that does 400,000 to 600,000 when maxed out, which is okay. I mean, you've got that Kenobi sync team that does like 1.2, 1.5 million. But if you want just fun, CLS lead creates that counter chance with all of the rebels, and then you just put in, like you said, you could put in R2D2, you could put in Biggs and Wedge, you could put in Chert and Baze. I mean, you could pick any rebels at that point. My suggestion would be like Han Solo, Leia, and high damage characters, because then every time they counter, you're going to get all that high damage, and they're going to wipe all those ad robots out every single time the ad robot shoots. They're going to counter and destroy it, and then you can go back to Grievous. But it's still not going to be as good as the ad sync, because that's freezing his turn. It's basically preventing all the ads from taking additional turns, and so that's why they get so much damage with that team.
Yep. All right. Next question for Turbs. This is from Goldman 77700. Who's the better take now, Stormtrooper Han or old Ben Kenobi?
Both have different uses, don't they? Obviously, ST Han is
a little different now, yeah.
Not as tankier, but he feeds your turn meter, so he gets you started faster. So if you're using a heavy attack team, high attack, high offense and high damage, then he'd probably a good add, because he's obviously going to feed your turn meter and help you kill the guys quicker. If you're using more of a slow burn team with like hiding your Nihilus and stuff like that, then Ben's probably going to be a better choice. Just for example, that is. But both good. I think Han's still going to have his uses in the raids and such, but not really arena. I think Ben's probably the better tank when it comes down to arena viability. That'd be the way that I'd go. I've not had a good chance to have a good play around with him yet, with Luke. I don't know how good they're actually going to be. I'm going to do that today, actually, because although I do like playing around with high attack teams, I'm trying to set up a 2-tank Commander Luke squad and see how I can go there. Ben's on the list to do, but we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. But they're both good, but if you had to choose Arena, then it'd probably be Ben, I think.
All right. Next question for Warrior. This is from Fatality V2. How would you feel about potentially increasing Arena team members? If we had 6 to 7 tunes, we could use full Phoenix squads, Ewoks, Rogue One, etc. What are your thoughts about adding a 6th slot to Arena?
So I personally would love that and keep it at 5 minutes. so the timeout team could come back. But no, I'm just kidding. I think it would be cool because I'm always struggling to, there's always that 6th character I really wish I could have on the team but can't. But I think it's really important for the health of the game that they not, because the 5 really makes you choose, and it makes that a team can't, as well balanced as any team can be. Every team has some sort of a weakness. With a 6th character, you could shore up that weakness. Now they're continuing to expand the abilities, and so the need for more characters is going to become greater and greater. But I think it's important they stay true to that 5 character thing, even though every time I'm trying to come up with a new team comp, I'm always like, damn it, I wish I could put her and him in there. It would be cool to have 7-man comps or 6-man comps. That would be cool. But I just think for the health of the game, they shouldn't do that.
Do you think it would work if they didn't? The 6th slot wasn't a leader slot. It would just be an extra tune that you could put in there.
Well, I just don't think any more than 5 would work, because I think
the
game. I think what you need to make those critical choices. It makes it easier on everybody to have that extra tune, and that's kind of the point. Is this is like, bring your best 5, I bring my best 5, and we see who wins, kind of thing. And if we expand it, wow, that's amazing for everybody, because you get to bring another tune in. It helps you shore up another weakness, and it needs to keep every team exposed in one way or another. And the best way to do that is to keep it limited on how many you can bring in.
Yeah. Anybody else with thoughts on that? Okay, we'll move on. I don't think Rumon's back yet, is he? Okay. Back to the top to Miss Bella. This question is from Corey Dalmeyer. Speculation on the time frame for the return of Admiral Thrawn. When do you think they're bringing that blue body back for us to go for him again?
Yeah. Having read all his books, I would say 10 years. Because that's the answer in one of the books. But we are playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and we are not in the books and their timeline. So I think they know they can't wait for like a year, so they will wait for a few months. But I have no information on that.
Well, if you had a guess, what do you think? If you had take a guess.
If I had a guess, I think it would be. When was the last one? It was 1 month ago? July?
When did Thrawn? Was it June or July?
Yeah, let's say June, July,
June.
August, September.
July.
So October. Let's say October.
Okay. Anybody else want to throw their?
It was a rare event, right? It was. I think it was a rare event.
October. And the reason is they've already told us the timeline a dozen times. They've told us legendary events from now on. So they put this on their posts or leaderboards or whatever. They posted this. It said from now on all ALL legendary events will be in rotation. At the time when they posted that, there was only Yoda and the EP event. And so there was only 2 events to be rotated, so it was every other month. But then R2-D2 came out, and R2-D2 was supposed to be next month, but they pulled him early. And they said, we pulled them early. And the reason they said they pulled him early is because they wanted people to have an opportunity to get him 7-star before Luke Skywalker. But that just confirms their rotation that they've had all the legendary events in. So if he was out in June, go 4 months forward because there's 4 legendary characters, and that puts it in October. So I mean, if it doesn't come out in October, shame on me. But that's what they said, is that it was going to be rotational for all legendary events, and that there's only 4 legendary events. So you get 3 chances at every legendary character every year, and that's awesome. Until they add 2 more legendary characters, and then you can only get 2 chances a year. But I think that's what they'll cap it to, is 6 legendary characters max. And I think that's the reason, is they are going to start introducing all the new characters, probably the really good ones, through the territory battles, the different kinds.
Like
Warrior. Warrior, you see, your logic and my instinct just came to the same answer. Isn't that great?
Oh, yeah.
Let me see here. Next question. All right, Mike, this is from Comb Cobra. It's for everybody, but he asks, is anybody, I guess, Zeta all 3 Luke's abilities yet? And which is the worst? Which is the worst, if so? So out of 3, I don't think any of his abilities are bad. But if you had to pick one that was like the worst, well, first of all, if anybody's Zeta'd all 3, but if you had to say which one was the least, I think we've kind of answered this. But you have an opinion on this, Mike?
I think I would just revert back to what Warrior said earlier. Depending on how you're running him dictates whether the Zeta order that you deploy. If you're running him lead, then leader first, otherwise second unique, then lead, then finally the last one. I'm just waiting to see whether I can go public. I found a Commander Luke Skywalker Phase 1 squad. Looks quite interesting.
What is it?
It's Thrawn, First Order officer, and Commander Luke Skywalker. That's it.
So Thrawn, CLS, 2.
That is it. Yeah.
First Order officer, just those 3?
Just those 3. I've got the screenshots. 100%, 48%, 0.25%.
That's heroic?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. I'm really sorry if I've just blown that and that's going live somewhere else. I really am sorry, but that was timing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is the bit I love. You ready for this one? No Zetas. Sorry, no Zeta needed. It's a kind of cheap lineup. Wow.
Our community has some of the best theory crafters. It's so awesome.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
All right.
There's some amazing ones.
If you're wanting to know the worst one, whoever is out there wants to know the worst, it will always be the worst one. That's Learn Control. Learn Control gives him plus 50% critical avoidance and plus 100% tenacity. The plus 100% tenacity, he's still going to get debuffed. It's still going to happen. It may help him resist from time to time, but it's not going to work as well as you were hoping. It's not tenacity up, and then which it should be. And then since it's a Zeta, it should be tenacity up. And then the critical avoidance, again, I haven't seen that work as well as it's designed. It's supposed to prevent you from being critically hit. It just doesn't work as well. So reducing their critical chance to make sure that they're hitting you with lesser hit damage and stuff. It works. It just doesn't work as well as I think intended. Same thing with their tenacity. 100% tenacity plus your 30 or 40% tenacity you have should be a guaranteed no debuff, but that's not the case at all. I know because of Thrawn.
It's crazy. It's like it still hits. You're like, How?
Every time. So you're basically spending all these Zetas for 2 moddable abilities that really are the least working modded abilities in the game that people ignore right now. And if they're ignoring it right now with mods, it's like, why spend Zetas on it? I mean, if you have Zetas and you're using them, it is kind of the last piece of a puzzle that would help a little. And so go all in eventually. But if you're going to do it, it's like I said, it's either going to be his leadership or his second unique. And if it's, but do both of those for sure. Skip learn control.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Turbs, this is some slash fin hordes or hodes. GW Node 12. This is who he's facing. Commander Luke Skywalker, General Kenobi, R2-D2, Darth Nihilus, and Thrawn. Ouch. Any kill order suggestion or team to use?
Run and hide. No.
That's brutal.
God, what was that lineup again? That's Node 12 as well. So I'm assuming he's
Max.
He's
this is Max.
A lower middle of the road player, and he's probably lost a lot of his squad as well. That is a tough one. I don't know. Hopefully you've got Raidhan with his new skills now. An early stun on Thrawn will really help because that'll stop him getting the early fracturing. So at least maybe you can get a heads up on there. That's one option that you could do to help. What was the team again? Luke lead, GK, Thrawn, and Nihilus.
You are in our
that's
Rex
a toughie.
I mean, a Rex-led team would help with that. With I think Churn and Baze, maybe your own Darth Nihilus. Boy, oh boy!
I think you've got to have Nihilus in there. I think it's going to take, if you're really struggling that much, it's going to take 2 bites of the cherry, isn't it? It's throw Nihilus in there and get a stun off and kill a couple of characters in there.
Yeah, try to burn down maybe GK, get him out of there. Maybe you get wiped, but then you go in with your heavy hitting team afterwards, and then GK is not there, so then you can kind of control everything afterwards a little bit better. Since you don't have to worry about that taunt. That would be my suggestion, is to kill General Kenobi. Oh boy, I feel for you.
Right.
Ooh-wee. Oh Lord,
That's a tough one for the last node.
All right, next question for Warrior from General Gravis. Everybody seems to be on the Luke train. Can somebody talk to the awesomeness of the First Order? Can you talk about the awesomeness? Now, I gotta say, First Order Stormtrooper, I am a big fan of. But what are your thoughts, Warrior?
So for anybody who's going to embrace the game for a long period of time and spend the next 2 years playing this game, First Order is actually very, very, very good, and not for a massive overpowered arena team, or not for a massively overpowered galactic war team or raid team. Like, each individual character in First Order in and of himself have massive viability in the game in other areas of the game independently. I mean, for example, the First Order TIE pilot, he is phenomenal in the Kenobi sync team in Rancor by him, or in the phase 1 of AAT. He is by himself on that team with a hodgepodge of other characters, but he in and of himself is critical in that team because of how much damage he can apply. Same is true, with First Order Officer, the people are using in the Rancor raids that they're soloing and stuff. Same is true with, using Kylo Ren, and just the massive. I just saw of one of my patrons showed me a picture, 144,000 power hit. It was the last character he had. He was debuffed out the butt, and he was like losing in the arena, and he came back to win with 144,000 hit. I didn't even know that was possible with Kylo Ren. I knew he could hit for a lot, but that much, I mean, that's like a massive, massive culling blade. And so, I mean, so like each one of them independently, and like you said, First Order Stormtrooper is one of the top 5 best tanks in the game now. Definitely one of the top 5 best games in the tank, or best tanks in the game, because of his counter capability. Yeah, and he actually works pretty well under CLS and stuff too. So individually, each one of them have a home somewhere in the game concretely, and they're all worthy of leveling. Of all of them, the weakest one's really Captain Phasma, and she still has viability in areas of the game, and dark side missions, and you could use her on a full Foo squad, First Order squad. But I don't know. I think that since I am a light side person, I developed them out of necessity, but they are good, and I've used their characters throughout the last year in lots of different areas, and they've been clutch in certain times. So, if you're going to do generalization, you're going to do reworks and, spend time on certain factions, I think the Resistance, unfortunately, is going to be your best bet. One Zeta, and the whole team is kick-ass. And clones are up there as well, just because 12 million damage in a phase. You could skip every phase, catch the beginning of phase 4, do 12 million, and be done. And be one of the top 5, producers in your guild in a heroic AAT. And they're like, and you're a top 5 every time, getting mad, benefits. So you could focus on clones only and be golden there. So it's just a matter of what you care about. I still don't have Zetas on Finn or on Commander Cody. Still, and I'm Warrior, and I still don't have either one of those, because I honestly don't have time to play the raids very often, and most of the time, by the time I catch it, they're already halfway done, and so I just whatever, I'll put in 2, 3, 4 million with the characters I have, and that's good. I'm happy with that, and I'm not in a huge rush for gear. I don't really care. I can score in the teens, and I'm fine. I'm happy with the gear I get. So it just depends on what your priorities are. Mine's arena. Other people, it's other aspects of the game, but First Order is really fun. They're cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I'm going to throw this last question out to everybody. Whoever wants to answer can answer it, and then we have some fun questions. This question's from Shaq Jones. What do you think about spending money on the packs? Are they worth it? So anybody who wants to answer this, feel free to jump in. Not everybody at once. Good Lord.
I did a couple of the mod packs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and stopped there. It didn't feel like I was getting enough bang for my buck.
What was the biggest speed you got then, Mike? The biggest secondary speed.
I think it was 11. For some reason, speed turning on a secondary is switched off on my account at the moment. I did a rush video where I had a protection showing 5, a gold protection showing 5. It stayed 5. Maxed it out. Yeah, it just ain't happening for me at the moment on those. But those are the packs that I've done.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in the Wednesday stream. A pack is if you need it, right? We were talking about the specific packs, for leveling your Rebel tunes. If you want Commander Luke Skywalker, you need to get you need to get R2, you needed to get the Trooper pack, and you were right there, then we recommended getting it. But if you weren't close, then there was no point. It's just the same as the Rebels. If you're missing an old Ben or a Luke, you've got them 6 stars, and you're like, only like 10 in to 7-star, then maybe spending $19.99 and getting the 80 stars for old Ben is worth it. So you have to kind of make that assessment yourself. I think you get some good bang for your buck, but they are situational. You need to use them only if you need them. I mean, if you're at 4 stars with old Ben, and that's the only character you need, that'll help you tremendously if you're going to go for Commander Luke Skywalker. If you're not going to go for it, then it really doesn't make sense to even bother. So I think it's situational. You have to take an assessment of what you're going for, which of those packs is what you need, But for $19.99, you get 80 shards and everything else that comes with it. It's a pretty decent pack for $19.99. So anybody else about the packs? I mean, there's so many in the store right now. Okay. So we'll get through some fun questions here, and then we'll close it out.
Sorry, can I just say something? I wanted to check first of all. I mentioned the P1 solo earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Hermosa that's done it. I just wanted to check that I could actually say who. That's a wow for me, and needed.
Yeah.
Needed saying. I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. Well, they were okay with it. But
I'm totally with that. Absolutely. Congrats to them. Absolutely. So fun to see. We'll get some questions here. These will be a little fun. Question for Bella. How is the race for occulty going?
That's Acolyte. Am I on mute?
Sorry.
Yeah.
No. Acolyte. Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's Lucas asking, right?
I don't know. It didn't say who asked. That was just a question.
It must be Lucas, because we've got a race right now, and yeah, we did so for Old Ben because we both didn't have Old Ben, and so we were more or less tied. And then we said who's going to get Old Ben first, and well, when the pack came out, I couldn't continue till the end because I would have been farming till the end of the event, and that would have been too much stress for me. So I bought the pack, and I got Commander Luke, so I'm happy. And Lucas got the pack as well. And now we said we have to continue that, and our next race is for Acolyte. I know she's a Night Sister, and it should be Grande, but Grande has them all at 7-star. So Lucas and I try to get, and it's fun actually, because you kind of you talk about it and you upgrade your characters. And I know she's not very good right now, but we are expecting a rework. So why not going for Night Sisters?
Sure, it's not a problem. Next for Warrior, how much tequila did you drink in Mexico?
I played volleyball the first day I was there, and every time I scored a point, they had me take a shot directly from the bottle, where they poke a hole in the bottle and spray it in your mouth. And, of course, the more I scored, the slower they counted. They count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And at first it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good job. And then after, a couple, they're like 1, 2, 3. It's terrible. So that first day I had a little bit, but I actually, after that game, cut myself off from tequila the rest of the trip because I didn't have an intention to go down there to drink. Actually, I went down there to do a bunch of snorkeling, which we did. We did a ton of snorkeling, and we got to release we got to swim with dolphins and play with the dolphins. That was fun. And then we also got to release turtles and things like that, and that was super fun as well. So yeah, a little bit of tequila on day one, and then that was it.
It's all you need. All right, this is for everybody. What is your favorite scene out of all the Star Wars, out of anything Star Wars? What is your favorite scene? We'll start with Turbs. What is your favorite scene out of the whole Star Wars franchise?
I had a few, to be honest, but seeing as I've been asked first,
just one.
For once, nobody will pick mine. I didn't quite pee myself like you've been known to do in the past, but the latest Vader scene in the Rogue One was amazing.
The Vader
scene? I got chills from that. Yeah, when we were going in the corridor, that was awesome. Yeah, that was definitely up there. There's so many, but that's the first one that you just hate to take your impressions as well, but you go, oh my God.
Mike, your favorite scene?
opening scene of A New Hope. I was
Very
a kid. I was at the cinema. Blew me away. Star Wars fan from there on.
Absolutely. What about you, Darth Bella?
What about me? Yeah, actually, I'm. I have a few scenes, but if I had to choose one, actually, I love the scene where Chirrut says, "Let them go in peace" in Rogue One, and he takes down all those stormtroopers. I think I watched it like 10, 15 times on the internet. You know this when he's blind and he just they caught Cassian and Jin and all those and he says let them go in peace to the stormtroopers, and then he starts martial arts act. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Really cool
Chirrut's blind? Chirrut's blind? He can't be blind.
Stop it,
he
Derp.
is.
Darth Bella and I are on freaking like the same wavelength this morning, because that was the exact scene that I wanted to say. I loved Rogue One. I know everyone.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite one.
But yeah, that's my favorite of all of them, because, you know, it's really downplayed in the main movie, just like, oh yeah, by the way, we got the plans, no big deal, you know, whatever. And it's like they have no idea that, you know, a bunch of people, thousands of people just lost their lives, from all the pilots to all of the ground troops to, you know, this particular team of basically special forces. And they all die, but he is a badass, and I wish they would make a whole movie on his background. Why was he a character in this game or in this movie? Like, what was it about him and Baze and meeting and all of that? And you know, he was a keeper of the temple, so you know he's you know, one with the Force. And I think that he really stole that scene for sure. Even though Baze comes in at the end and smokes fools for him.
Well, you know, that movie for Rogue One, the reason it touched that one scene where Cassian's giving that speech about what they're doing, just ridiculous.
I've been this since I was 6 years old. 6 years old.
Yeah. Well, no, where you know, they're in the hangar after the Alliance is like, well, we're not going to go to war, and then all these guys just come forward and they're like, you know, we've had to do things that we didn't want to do. I was like, oh Jesus, whoever wrote this knows war pretty damn well. Mine, since one that's not been mentioned for me, I'll bring in Rebels in there. Ahsoka versus Vader. Good Lord in heaven! Besides Rogue One, that's just that whole sequence gave me chills. You know, it was heartbreaking to watch. You know, that happen. So I will throw that into the mix. Ahsoka versus Vader.
Actually, I totally spaced out the cartoons, and so I bring Clone Wars into it. The all-time greatest scene in history of anything Star Wars ever made in history is when Anakin is realized as the chosen one, lands on that planet where the father Force wielder,
Celestials,
the Force wielders, the Celestials, and he is tested, and basically he has to make a choice between saving his leader or his Padawan, you know, his mentor or his Padawan, and he's given a choice. One's going to die, which one? And he basically owns everything and says, no, I think I'm going to have time stop. I'm going to slam you guys against the walls, make you submit, bend your knee in front of me, and I'm going to save them both because I'm the chosen one. And that sequence is so intense, so viral, so amazing, and it showcases the true depth of power that Anakin has. You know, and it's so sad because you're like, you know, his goal, but that single scene is the single best scene of all time in Star Wars, in my opinion. That is just amazing. If you haven't seen it, YouTube it.
Yes. Clone Wars, watch it. It's amazing. All right, round the horn real quick. What is your favorite drink to get drunk on? Mike?
Espresso Smirnoff with coffee liqueur. I think it's vodka martini or something, I believe.
Okay, very nice. Turbs?
Oh, so many. Wheat beer and brandy. Not mixed together, but you start off on wheat beer, then you finish off on brandy.
All right. Miss Bella?
Whew. Yeah, there's different ones. Scottish whiskey is good, but the problem with Scottish whiskey is that you don't get really drunk drinking it if it's a good one.
But you're not doing it right. That's a great choice, though. Warrior.
Yeah, single malt Scotch for sure. I prefer Jura, but if it's good, Glenmorangie or Glenfiddich or something, I'll drink it. But I'm a Scotch guy.
Okay, I have to say here again. Then I prefer Islay whiskies.
Nice.
For what?
Islay is an island because
Irish whiskies.
No, Islay.
Islay.
The island of
Islay is an island. Islay.
Yep.
It's written. I don't know how it's pronounced. Islay. Islay.
That's Scotch that comes off of that. It's whiskey, but it's a Scotch.
It's a Scotch, but it's a peaty Scotch.
Oh, it's amazing stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Balmore Legend is.
You should come down to Borough Market. There's whiskey shops there that are just wow.
All right, I'm drooling. All right, me it's bourbon, whiskey or bourbon. I'll take it all. And then finally, Enrique, we're going to give him a shout out because it's his birthday today. So, been a follower for the channel for a long time. Enrique, we appreciate it. Happy birthday to everybody here. So, hope it's a good one, man. Make it count. We're giving you lots of drink options. Right. All right, so that's the end of the questions. Wow, that was a plethora of questions. That was a lot, but we got through it. So, first off, shout out to everybody in the channel, that have been watching and participating. Your support is what matters. This is why we do this. I hope everybody had an awesome time. We hope we answered as many questions as we could to give you the information that you need. So with that being said, we're going to do what we always do, and that is pimp our stuff. So we'll go around the horn. I'll just go from the top. Let's work our way down. Well, first off, Remon's not here, but big shout out to Remon for being here. He's always working, but he makes the time to be here. So kudos to Remon. You can find Remon on his channel, Ramona Zob, and he's part of the Alliance. Darth Bella, where can people find you? Where can people find your stuff?
Where can people find me? I've got a channel. It's called Darth Bella, and the link is given here in the new under the YouTube video, and you can check me out. I will soon upload my next interview. Well, soon. I'm still working on it. Let's say, so it will take a bit.
Right, Mike.
Thank you for having me tonight. It's morning where you are still, isn't it? Very early morning still. Thank you very much for having me on. I've got my channel, MikeHunt. I'm gonna be experimenting. That sounds weird. I'm gonna be trying out loads of different squads, including Commander Luke Skywalker. I've got my Princess Leia. I've got my Han Solo that I'm so tempted to Zeta right away. And generally prattling about, trying things out. Come join me.
There you go. Jesus. All right. Turbo, you're up. Where can people check you out at?
I've got a YouTube channel, Turbs, TURBS. If you have trouble finding it, just add SWGOH and it'll pop up straight to the top. I've been lazy and not released anything for about a fortnight now, but I've got a few videos lined up, so should look forward to them. Well, that's where you can check me out. I'm part of BHG. We're all loads of good YouTubers. Mike's BHG, Smithy's BHG, and there's also Mist. So check all of us out. All do some good stuff.
Yeah, all these are listed down below, guys. So you can check. You can find them all there. Where can people find you? Is Warrior there?
Oh, I didn't hear you say Warrior. Yeah, I'm here. So Warrior Presents because I present a lot of stuff. I haven't in the last weeks because I've been so busy. And actually, surprisingly, it doesn't stop for me. I am going to be busy again. I unfortunately had a very close grandfather who was like a father to me die. He's a Congressional Medal of Honor, World War II winner and stuff. So we're burying him with military honors. So we're going out to Nebraska for that, and I'm going to be gone for another week. So who knows what my schedule of release videos is going to look like. I haven't given people a whole lot. I apologize, but between my work trips, my vacation, and now a death in the family, I just super busy with life. But I am going to try and squeeze in some fun CLS videos. I've got one I just released today, which showcases one team with CLS in it, but I've got 3 different teams I've used that I have found extreme success with. And when I say success, I mean my leaderboard is asking me to remove characters or to change the team because they can't beat it. And I'm not getting bumped more than once max. And it took them 24 hours to crack the code of the turn order kill. And then I switched the team again today, and they're all like, that sucks. We can't get through it. We can't even get through the protection. So I want them to record some of that if possible, but it sounds like, again, they're having a hard time. It doesn't sound like anybody knows how to do that. So we're going to see. We're going to try, because I want to get that perspective for sure, other than just showing the offensive side, show the defensive side. But Warrior Presents, find me there, and I'll be putting out what I can.
Awesome. And condolences, sir. Your death in the family. Ugh. Never easy. So all right. So you can, of course, you guys are here. You're in the channel. Then you already know this is RSG. We stream Wednesdays and Saturday. Of course, Saturday today we do the Jedi Academy. Wednesday, of course, on 8 Eastern we do the weekly RSG stream where we cover all the latest news and notes from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Answer your questions. Have some fun. Theatercraft. We cover it all with great guests on that night. So for everybody here, for those in the channel, spread the word. So support these guys. They take time out of their busy schedules to be here and answer your questions and help you out, and that's what we love to do. So give them the support back. Give them the thumbs up. Subscribe to their channels. Help them out in that way. Watch the videos. Spread the word for all that stuff, and including our channel. We love the support too. So if you like what you see, give us a subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's how you support the content and keep it going for all these people, and including ourselves. So I think we'll call this one done. So on behalf of myself and the wonderful panel we had today, thank you guys for stopping in and check out their stuff. And we will see you guys on Wednesday, where I'm sure we'll have another million things drop on us last minute. Have to figure out what it all means. So thanks for stopping by. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. Take care.